European rating system, as well as the. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know it as well as the
PEG.
I don't know that system, the PEG system, as well as the North American system, but I believe the 16 plus is what we advertised on there, and that's what we're targeting. So we definitely have no intention of backing away from the mature rated nature of the Diablo series.
Are you anticipating releasing updates in terms of content in the same way that you have for World of Warcraft?
We're real far away from that. We want to
will the game be designed with that in mind?
Well, for the very least, we will design it to be updated with expansions, but beyond, in terms of online content, I don't know that we've had a game that we haven't done something with like that, but in terms of specifics, I can't say right now. It's true.
Talking about community, is there going to be any way for the community to actually contribute to the game mode, like designing levels, setting up challenges for other players, or stuff like that?
We haven't made any specific decisions, but I will say that Diablo is not a game that is very. I assume you're specifically talking about mods. It's not a very mod-friendly game because of the random nature. It puts in all the randomness in the environments and everything. It puts a very high technical aptitude required to actually make stuff for it. So it's not been a big focus for us, but we'll always look for a way for our fans to be able to contribute. Like we want that, but it's particularly difficult with this title.
Where exactly are you in the development process right now? What's your next milestone or the challenge?
Well, without getting too specific, we're pretty much in hardcore production. Like, we have a game that we really love to play. It's super fun. We play it all the time. And we are working on content, which I think is really the lion's share of what development is.
Percentage of how much roughly?
Yeah, I would hazard that. Even if I knew, I would.
Yeah, and for Blizzard, it's difficult to assign a percentage to it anyway because it's not a straight curve to completion. If you're 75% complete, for example, that doesn't mean you only have 25% of the time left, right? If there's a curve where it flattens out, and so just because you might be some percentage of the way done doesn't mean that it's an equivalent percentage in terms of the time remaining to get the game done.
Something like a road, heroic mode.
Like a harder level. That's a really cool idea. We don't have any specific plans right now for something like that. Right now we focus mostly on just everybody being able to jump in and play a game together and adjust everything to the number of players in it, and that kind of implies a side note. But yeah, no, it's a cool idea though.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, I've asked like 20 questions.
How many levels will there be for the character experience level?
How many experience levels? We haven't really decided. The only thing we really talked about is, probably doing something similar to Diablo 2, except I may have to go all the way to 100. 99 is just not far enough. If you're already 99, why not? One more 100. So, but we haven't really decided.
You didn't want to talk about other developers' games before, but would you say that you were inspired by any particular things in World of Warcraft that you wanted to include in Diablo, or did you yourself inspired?
Well, I'm definitely a big World of Warcraft fan. So, I would say that it's been an inspiration.
Any particular elements?
The bosses, definitely. We look at a lot of the boss design. They've had such an opportunity on the design side to iterate on how they design bosses and what makes a good boss fight that we'd be silly not to go and learn from.
What makes a good boss fight?
What makes a good boss fight for them? I would probably let them answer that question.
For you then?
For me, I would probably wait until we actually show a boss off.
we've always tried to ensure that no one individual is critically important to the games that we make, and so this development team has 50 people, and when they were working on Diablo 2, I think up at Blizzard North they had some 40-odd people or more. It takes a big talented team to make a great game, and so on a personal level we all miss Bill, I think, but we are able to make games with any combination of people, great talent when we're making our games. So Bill's doing well with this stuff, and we've done very well since they've departed, so it's good for everyone.
About 5 more minutes, guys, so last few questions.
You said Diablo is not a mod-friendly game, but what about user interface modifications? Will you allow it for the players like in World of Warcraft?
We're specifically not going to allow user interface mods. For World of Warcraft, I think it's essential to the experience, but for us, we actually feel that user interface mods can change the nature of the game such that it can actually make a very simple game very complex, and we really want to focus on keeping Diablo a very easy game to play. And so right now we don't have any user modifications on the UI side.
I'm satisfied with the complications where you can lead into World of Warcraft and there's a lot of players still prefer to use the
Sorry, can you say it again?
Yeah. Are you satisfied with the vocal service in World of Warcraft?
What service?
Vocal.
Vocal, voice over IP.
I think that all the players still prefer to use other.
We definitely wanted to integrate something into the client that would make it more convenient, and I think we were pretty successful in that regard. I think one of the challenges we faced is the audio quality, and so it's definitely something that we want to continue to improve on as we go forward.
Hey, has it always been this design? I mean, it's experimented with any other forms of RPG or camera?
Any other kinds of? Well, it's pretty much it's a fairly broad question, so it's kind of hard to answer. But in terms of, I'd say that the core ideas for what we wanted to do for Diablo 3 have stayed actually fairly consistent over the years. It's really been trying to find our gameplay, find our visual look. Those are the things that I think has taken the most time for us. And even some of the features that we're not talking about yet. There's some really cool ones that we're showing in the coming months. Some of those morphed a lot over time, but I think the core of what we wanted really stayed in them.
I saw quite a lot more monsters on screen in the demo. It's kind of impressive. About how many is the limit for the current engine?
How many monsters?
Yeah, how many things you can physically have on screen?
The programmers don't really give us a limit. We keep throwing stuff on until they yell at us. But there are, it's different. There's different for different creatures. The wraith ghost creatures that appear from the chest trap, those guys are actually pretty expensive because of the cloth that's on them. So we tend to limit their number to fairly small. But I think we haven't. I don't think we've broken 100 on screen at a time. Which, but we flirted with it. So yeah.
Can we expect a lot of sequences where we get mocked like that?
Oh yeah, tons and tons of monsters is the name of the day for sure.
Do you enforce team play more than Diablo 2?
Enforce team play?
Yeah. Gameplay-wise?
Well, I don't know if you can exactly in an open game enforce it, but certainly we encourage it. We talked about earlier the health system, the way loot works. We don't discourage players. We don't penalize players for being near one another. We give them bonuses. We make it beneficial. So for sure we encourage it, but we don't enforce it.
So you still will be able to play quite through the whole game alone if you want?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
If you encourage team play, how do you deal with it if